Are you crazy? Because I know I am, and this is Cardfight Crazy. I am Joey, but with the end of G era doesn't come just the end of G era, it comes the end of open classic formats. And what that was all throughout G, we'd take new cards and we would add them to decks restricted by other things, and this is one of my favorite decks to play in any classic format, and that is the Ezzel Alfred Legion. Love this thing. For a time, I actually preferred it to blasters. Alright, first, the King of Knights Vanguard Ezzel, our Legion leader, in Legions of course, for 21k with the King of Knights Alfred. Soul Blast 2, choose a card from your hand with the same card name as a unit on your Vanguard circle and discard it. If this unit is Legion, search your deck for up to one Grade 2, one Grade 1, and Grade 0 card, call them to separate rearguard and shuffle your deck. And if this unit is in Legion, your units cannot boost this unit. Real quick, just to talk a little bit about that, even though open classic formats are ending, premium classic formats are beginning. Ohirume and CEO, and of course the King of Knights Vanguard Ezzel and the new King of Knights Alfred. It'll be really interesting to see how cards like that can kind of interact. When you do Seek the Mate, it is not writing, so you do not get a force marker or protect marker in CEO's case. And with Great Dayusha, you wouldn't get a force marker when if you Legion them. But I think that'd just be really, really interesting to go back and play with a bunch of Legion decks where the only difference is that you're using the V-Era card of the Legion Mate. Specifically for this one, we do have the original. There's the BTO1, and then two of the artworks which do match with that. I'd prefer them all to be the original King of Knights Alfred. It's a beautiful card on his steed. I don't know if we've ever gotten a name for the horse. But your unit cannot boost this unit. During your turn, this unit gains plus 2k for each of your Royal Paladin rearguards. No, that does activate when you're in Legion. And Vanguard or Rearguard, Counterblast 3, search your deck for up to one Grade 2 or less Royal Paladin, call it to Rearguard and shuffle your deck. If you really want to do that, you can. But most of the time, you'll just sit in Legion with a 31k if you have a full field. And it is beautiful. But there is one more Grade 3, and I'm actually going to hold off on talking about it until the end when I get to the card that brings it out, generally, and what the combo is. But first we have Guidepost Sage Elrond. You can run Wingull Brave, you can run Barkgull now that he's unbanned, do whatever, well, once he becomes unbanned. Whatever, I like Guidepost Sage Elrond because Counterblast 1, move it into the Soul. If you have a Vanguard with Alfred in its card name, search your deck for up to one Grade 2 or less card not named Signpost Sage Elrond, or Guidepost Sage Elrond, call it to an open rearguard and shuffle your deck. You can use his skill, then you can Soul Blast him off the Persona Blast, then you can rewrite again, Legion him, call him back out, use his skill. Good card, and has a lot of use, and I just like being able to tutor in addition to it, because you can fill your field up with the Persona Blast, you get a Grade 2, a Grade 1, and a Grade 0, and then with Elrond you can get another Grade 2 to actually have attackers. 4 refresh healers. I like the artwork on this one, so that's why it's being run from the character booster. 4 copies of Margall. Move it into the Soul, give a unit plus 3k. There you go, everybody knows Margall's skill. This deck does run the Blaster engine, so 4 copies of Floral Paladin Flogel. Counterblast 1 from Rearguard. At the end of the battle, let your unit named Blaster Blade attack the Vanguard. You may pay the cost or due. Choose up to one of your units named Blaster Blade on Rearguard. Stand it, return this unit to your deck, and shuffle your deck. Of course, in Premium things. I keep talking about Premium because that's that's what we can glean the most about. Blasters and Premium are going to be interesting. But then there's this thing which just pisses me off, Scion Rider. The most infuriating card I have ever seen. I ranted about it. I might have ranted about it during the construction of my Blaster deck and the unboxing of the Legend deck when I constructed that. Actually, with a lot of the cards from this current deck, because I had this deck, then the Legend deck came out. And so, in order to just do something with that, I used a lot of these cards. But Scion Rider, so infuriating. Rearguard, put this unit into your soul, auto. When your grade 3 Vanguard with Alfred and its card name attacks you, and pay the cost to do soul charge 2. Or counter charge 2. It's so infuriating because with Alfred Oath, you're losing 2k power. You have to be on a grade 3. So, if you're on Alfred Oath, then you're not striding. And if you're doing it with the Legion, then you're losing 2k power again as well. You're going from a 31 to a 29k attack. That is so infuriating. And with the other Alfred that this deck does run, then you're losing your crit. It's not the card that I was talking about, but I'll get to them. 4 copies of the countercharging PG that came out in the Legend deck. Can guard your Vanguard only. And if there's another copy of it in the drop zone, countercharge 1. There you go. Like I said, running the Blaster engine. So 2 copies of Barkle, because we do have the 4 copies of Flogel, and we can tutor them out through the Persona Blast, so it's not that big a deal. 2 copies of Barkle. When your card name Blaster Blade is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard in the same column as this unit, if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in its card name, countercharge 1. Note that you gotta have the Blaster Vanguard as well, so most of the time you're not gonna get the countercharge. That's fine, this deck doesn't use too many counterblasts. Well, it does, but just not all at once. Knight of the Gale, Hudiplus. Yeah, Hudiplus, and add 2. This is purely a Legionnaire deck, is an open format Legionnaire deck, which means you can use any card that does not relate to Stride. And for the most part, when I do Legion format, typically I like everything to be Legion based. So I don't like things that allude to Limit Break either. And your grade 3s all have to be Legions or Mates. Or, Legions or Mates typically. But then of course you can do whatever you want in your... when you play something like this. But Knight of the Gale, Huda Plus, it's good because if you discard a card from your hand, that your Alfred is attacked, and if you're in Legion, there you go, you got Alfred. Move it to the Guardian Circle's Rest, and it gains 10k shield. It becomes a 15k shield for a discard, and it also gets around Guard Restrict, because it's a special skill, so it's not coming from your hand. 2 copies of Sage of Innocence Libron. This is when you're going to go ahead and use Scion Rider. You call Libron, and the skill of Libron is that rest it when it is called. Choose 2 of your units and give them 4k, if you have an Alfred Vanguard. Yep. So you can give 4k to your Vanguard, so that way it's a 33k attack when Scion Rider goes away, and you can give whatever Scion Rider would boost another 4k. Though, like I said, this is, or like you saw, this is an 8 crit, 4 draw. No stands, we just go. Swordsman of Light, Unos, the guy who would become Blaster Dark. Once per turn, when the other unit is placed on rearguard due to the effect from one of your cards, if you Vanguard with Alfred in its card name, the unit gains plus 5k until end of turn. If you do the Persona Blast, you fetch a 2, and him is your 1, and another 0. He activates because you fetch the 2 and the 0 at the same time as him, so they all get called at once. Blaster Engine, favored pupil of Light and Dark Blue. It's Lou. It is the Blaster Engine. Auto Rearguard. When this unit is boosted by a unit named Blaster Friend, Barkle, or Flora Paladin Flogel, until end of that battle, this unit gains plus 3k. And Rearguard Counterblast 1, put this unit into your soul. At the end of the battle, this unit attack to Vanguard. You may pay the cost to do search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 with a Blaster in its card name. Call it to Rearguard, shuffle your deck, and that unit gains plus 3k. You've all seen it before. 2 potential targets if you want to just go murder something. Blaster Blade Spirit. Counterblast 1. When this unit is placed on rearguard from your deck, you may pay the cost to do. Choose your opponent's grade 2 regarded rearguards on front row and retire it. And of course, the important thing, at the end of the battle, this unit was attacked. Retire this unit. Just gets retired, doesn't get hit, and then of course it's also a gold paladin, but this is a royal paladin deck, so it don't matter. 2 copies of the man who would become Blaster Blade. Amez is his name, the Swordsman of Light. Amez, note the blue eyes on him, and the green eyes on Unos. That is your distinction. When this unit attacks, if you have Vanguard with Alfred in its card name, this unit gains plus 2k until end of that battle. And that's good because Counterblast 1, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with Alfred in its card name, you pay the cost to do. Search your deck for up to one card with Blast Blade in its card name, call it to rear guard that this unit was on, shuffle your deck, choose one of your units, auto, and until end of turn, the ability cost becomes 0. So you do end up retiring Homage, which is fine because Homage farms into his Blaster Blade, but you do get the retire for free. And you get that retire off of Blaster Blade. There you go. 4 full copies of Blaster Blade. Run the 4 because we have the Amez getting to search him. We have the Lou going to search him. And you can call him out with Guidepost Sage, Elron, or the Persona Blast. Whatever you need to do. Let's look at the Legend deck version. Counterblast 2 when a unit is placed on Vanguard, you pay the cost to do. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And Counterblast 2 when it's placed on rear guard, if you have a Royal Paladin Vanguard, you may pay the cost to do. Choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less, or grade 2 or greater rear guards and retire it. Wow. Grade 2 or less. Wow, what am I thinking? Blaster Dark Revenger? And I did mention there was one more grade 3. That's because of this guy. We have Light Source Seeker Alfred 14th. Or Exiv, as the English unfortunately called him. This is not his Legion mate. His Legion mate is Blaster Blade or Blaster Blade Seekers. There you go. Another reason to run the full 4 Blaster Blades. During your turn, if this card is Legion, this unit gains +1k for each of your other units with Seeker in its card name. Then if the number of rear guards you have is 5 or greater, it gains +1 crit. Counterblast 2 card with Seeker in its card name. Search your deck for up to 1 card with Seeker in its card name, call it to rear guard, and shuffle your deck. An Undulatory Sage Tarna. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a grade 3 Vanguard with Alfred in its card name, and all of your Vanguards are stand, search your deck for up to 1 card with Alfred in its card name, write it as stand, shuffle your deck, and this unit gains +5k until end of turn. The whole point of this deck is to sit on King of Knights, the Vanguard of the King of Knights, Ezzel, and do his Persona Blast like twice, and then once you put your opponent to 5 damage, you write him again, Legion, putting all your triggers back, you do his Persona Blast again, calling out Tarna, then right into Alfred 14th, Legion, put your triggers back again, and then you got a Vanguard with a crit, and you double Legioned, so many triggers back. There you go. That is the entire point of the deck. One thing I do want to point out is I've been thinking about this guy in Premium, because you ride Alfred early, you get your Force Marker, then you call out your Blaster Blade, then you call this dude from hand. This is when you ride up to grade 3, on your turn 3, going first. Then you call Tarna, you get at the King of Knights, Alfred, slap that additional Force Marker down anywhere, and you got whatever that King of Knights Alfred skill is. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if this guy's going to be worth it. He's a common from the comic booster. Just mentioning it because, well, we have enough-ish cards for standard, but a lot of theory crafting goes into Premium. And not a ton of it's going to go into Standard. With such a limited card pool, Standard's going to be a lot more streamlined, and that's what I really do like about it. And Premium's going to be a mad dash for what the hell can we do, and that's what I'm going to like about it. Though, I will be focusing mostly on Standard. So, I am Joey. This is Cardfight Crazy. Hope you're crazy too.